Paul, in terms of the reaction from last weekend, obviously you want to see it in training. Have you got that from the boys?
The training's been excellent this week. We've tried to sort of give a little bit of variation on the themes to training, and we've tried to make it a bit of chaos for them, so they're having to think, because between now and the end of the season it's going to be chaos. We can guarantee that. There's going to be games which are going to be mad. Everybody's scrapping for different things, and we've got to be able to deal with it. We want to make sure that we're the team that deals with chaos best. I'll be honest, we didn't deal with it very well at Gillingham last weekend, so this is why we're trying to just go with that and hope that the players are able to deal with it and keep a calmness about them to be able to show the football that we think we can play, to show the attacking stuff that we think we can provide, and hopefully in turn that will bring us some results.
The lads were frustrated. We could all see that at the final whistle. That's something else to manage, isn't it? It's something you have to, if something doesn't go right, you've got to manage it.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing we have to manage is everybody's expectations, because they've gone through the roof. You know, at the start of the season, we definitely didn't expect to be up in these top places, so we're having a really bonus time. What I would say is that we want to carry it on. We don't want to just finish after 37 games and think, oh, it's been okay, because that won't be true. We want to make sure we're finishing it properly, and we've got, I spoke to the players the other day, and we've got 5 weeks now till the end of that Sutton game, and we've got to make sure that these 5 weeks are the best 5 weeks that we can do. There's no guarantee that it will bring us any level of success, but we have to give ourselves the best chance by doing things properly, on and off the grass, in training, out of training, in the football club, at home, wherever you are. For 5 weeks we've got to be as good as we possibly can be, and if we do that, we'll have to take whatever comes at the end of it, but hopefully that will be enough to get us where we want to go.
You've scored 58 league goals. That isn't a problem, but does it become a weight that you carry when you have a run of games where you haven't hit the back of the net?
Well, it's certainly something you've got to deal with, certainly something you've got to keep striving to make better. We have scored 58. Unfortunately, we've had 3 games recently where we didn't score a goal. We've had 3 in this little run where we haven't scored a goal. And we've got to make sure we get back to scoring. We've got to have the belief that we can create, have the belief that we can get bodies into the box to score. And if we do that, then the goals will start to come. And hopefully it'll be this weekend.
What a crop of forwards you've got to choose from, getting that combination that'll do the job.
Yeah, we have got good forwards. Unfortunately, they're just not firing at this moment. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm not gonna try and flower it up. I ain't gonna protect anybody. All of them haven't done the job that we want them to do over the last few weeks, and the challenge is who's going to be the forward players who are going to jump out and go and win us games. Who's going to be the midfield players, wing backs, whoever it might be, who's going to jump up and stand up and scream that they're going to be the ones who's going to go and win games for us. And the sooner we get a group of players who are going to do that, the better for us all.
Just picking up on that chaos theory for training, is that something deliberate? Is that a change to what you would normally do in the circumstances that we are right now?
Yeah, it's not something. We have had sessions over the season where there has been chaos, but the theme for today was chaos. Get them thinking, get them dealing with stressful situations, as in football stress, not life stress. And they were very good at it. So it was just something we wanted to try and get them to have in their mind, because this weekend at Orient, they will want to cause chaos. They will want to make it really difficult for us, just like Gillingham did, just like Stevenage did. And it's probably fair to say we didn't deal with it as well as we would want to, and we have to go and deal with this game this weekend much better.
And you're all the players involved in training. Easiest headline of the week for me is Back's back. That's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. He's come back in and he's looking fit and strong, and he's got a sheer determination about him that he wants to come back and have an effect. Hunt has trained this week as well. In fact, today we had 26 outfield players who could have been out on the grass, and because that's Taylor Charters doing the first bit of his integration back into the group. So we've got a big group of players. Obviously in that we've got the boys who are out on loan in Scotland and over in the northeast, and Josh Dixon is just returning for injury. So we've got a big group to choose from. So there are going to be players who are disappointed because they're not in the main training group. There'll be players disappointed this weekend that they're not travel. Possibly 5 or 6 won't travel. But that's what I want. I want a group of players who can go and finish these last 8 games, because it isn't going to be 11. It probably isn't going to be just the same 18. We're going to need a full group to go and finish off what we've got to.
So in terms of Hunt, Jack Ellis, Finback in particular, are they back in that group of potentially 20 that could travel?
Yep, they're all available for travel. Just Taylor Charters out of those ones who I've spoke about, and Josh Dixon, who are not available at this moment in time, but everybody else is. So we've got a good group to choose from. Hopefully a group that's got a determination, a desire to go and get a result at the team who everybody has been chasing from the start. You know, from the first game of the season, they've been the team to catch. They had an incredible run. I think it was it 27 points out of the first 30, and everybody's been chasing them all season. So over the last run of games, even though we've probably not done as well as I would have liked, we've gained, I think it's 6 points. We've had a big gain on Stevenage, but with 8 to go, we've got another group of games that we've got to go and try and claw some points back off these teams and do ourselves a favour. It's
not deliberate by the fixture computer, but these weekends happen where the top 6 are all playing each other. There's going to be gains and losses this weekend alone.
Yeah, well, you guarantee that they can't all win. That's the one thing you can say. So again, I go back to it. It sounds like I'm a broken record. We have to do our job properly. You know, we didn't do over the last few games. We took a defeat at Gillingham. That's not what we planned to do. We just have to do our job right. And if we do that, we know we'll still be sat in a good position. If we don't, then we run the risk of other teams catching us. And again, that's something we've got to deal with.
They are top of the pile, but they've drawn a lot recently. They're a team that is there to be chipped at.
Yeah, of course they are. You know, they're a side who have set an incredible standard over the season. So again, because they've drawn 4 games, people are saying, you know, all negative stuff about them. To be sat where they are in a brilliant position. And you know, I've been there before. I know what it's like when you get towards the end of the game, end of the season, and you know you need a couple more wins to do it, and you start to get a little bit nervy. And maybe that's what they're getting. It's probably fair to say I watched the Hartlepool game and they should have been out of sight, but then they also could have lost the game. So it's a great game for us. It's a game that you don't need to get any sort of motivational tools out. You'd like to think that everybody wants to be involved in this game. You know, I know the players do. I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to meeting Richie again, because he's a guy who I played with at Blackpool and I've come across a few times. It is a great game for us, and a game that we know we've got to be right, but if we are right, we think we've got enough to cause them problems.
You mentioned Richie. He's one who knows the division, he knows the level, doesn't he? He knows how to get the players doing this.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And he's got a good group of players there. They've had a few injuries of late as well, which has probably disrupted them a little bit, but he's had a fairly consistent, certainly a consistent team shape and a consistent selections he's been able to make over the season. We've struggled with that, but hopefully between now and the end of the season we'll get a bit more luck on that side of it, and we can be consistent with our selection, and hopefully we can get some good, positive, consistent results as well.
You mentioned the expectation. Isn't it fantastic to be at this stage of the season and to be having to manage that?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's where you want to be. You know, this is certainly what I would have wished for. Didn't expect it, but we're here now. We've got to make sure we finish it off. There's no point resting on your laurels. You know, we want to make it a really good end to the season. It can be a brilliant summer. It can be a massive bonus for the football club to get ourselves up there, and hopefully we've given ourselves a real fighting chance, and then we can go and see the job through.
Never gets boring mentioning the fans. We've sold out the allocation of tickets. We've got 350 more that will be sold on the day, so we're going to have over 1,000 fans in London. It's just unreal, isn't it?
No, it's incredible. Credit to them, you know, and I know that the ticket offer's gone really well for the Tranmere game. Let's hope we can do this weekend right in front of a brilliant support again. I still can remember coming out the tunnel for my first game last February at Orient, and just the surprise at seeing how many fans we had on that day. And it's snowballing all the time. It's getting bigger and it's getting better. We've got to make sure we put on a performance that makes it a good day for everybody.
The lads are determined to do something, aren't they? If they don't, it won't be for the want of trying.
Oh, not at all, no. And I don't think it was for the want of trying last weekend at Gillingham. I look, you know me, I don't like making excuses. I always talk about excuses and reasons. And and this isn't an excuse, but when I looked at the game, we looked flat, we looked devoid of energy and brightness in our mind. When I look at the physical stats from the game, we played 44 games so far this season. In terms of total distance, it was ranked 44th out of 44 games. In terms of high intensity running, so anything round about 5.5 metres per second, it was 43rd out of 44. In terms of sprinting, it was 41st out of 44. In terms of the total high intensity and sprinting, it was 44th out of 44. Now, I don't for 1 minute think those players went out to not run. They went out to work, and I just think it was one game too many in that little run that had a negative effect. I have to look at myself because I maybe should have not picked that team, so I have to take that on the chin as well. It's one of them. We've had a week now where we've had a recovery, we've done some good training, we'll get down there, we'll travel properly, we'll feed the players properly, it's up to them to be hydrated properly, and let's hope we go and have a performance which is real high energy and some good football to go with it.
I want to finish by chucking a bomb at you. I know you don't mind, you pretty much answer anything that we throw at you, but I think this is relevant. We go through the summer, we go through the January, and we've got clubs looking at players. With what you've done on a smaller budget with this squad to get us where we are clubs going to be looking at you, and what would you do if clubs came to you and said, maybe at a higher level, Mr. Simpson, there's a job here for you?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure what that bomb was going to be, so I wasn't expecting that. Listen, I signed a contract here to come here for a minimum of 3 years. I've moved my family, myself and Jackie, we've moved up here, and this is I think it's our 27th move in 30 odd years of being married, so I don't think Jackie would be too chuffed if I was to suggest we're going to move again. I want to stay here. I want to be at least 3 years here. I want the club to want me to stay. And then after that, I would love us to be in a position where they want me to stay longer. Whether I'm still fit enough to be the manager, who knows? I don't... People criticised me last time for leaving to go to Preston. I was a young manager. I was trying to find my way in the game. I was striving to be... the best manager I could be, and thinking that to be the best manager I had to go to the Championship level to give me a platform to go to Premier League level. I still want to be the best manager I can be, but I think I've realised that as an English coach you got very little chance of actually getting a job in the Championship of the Premier League. And that's not me in any way criticising foreign coaches. There are some brilliant foreign coaches. I'm really enjoying my life here. I've had some fantastic experiences in my managerial career, whether that be coaching in Portugal, working in the Championship or the Premier League, some good football clubs, brilliant experience working with the FA and culminating in having a World Cup win. I'm not chasing all of that now. I'm really happy with my life, really happy with my lot, and if I can stay here for a long time, I'll be happy, and I'm quite sure Jackie will be as well.
Got a feeling that might be the only thing people listen to off the sick of you. Thanks, Paul.